I don't know. It's just weird for me. I like to like
Did you-
spectate and shit.
I think you're cute.
Oh, you
I
think
like
so?
having attentions on you.
I think your toes are cute. Welcome back to the
Yeah.
Uncomfortable Silence Podcast. Let's go.
Yeah,
Vlogging the camera.
Who wants to do the intro?
Balls.
Great, that's the intro.
Yes, let's go. Welcome back to the Uncomfortable Silence Podcast. We got Jonah again. Say hello, Jonah.
Let's go.
That was not what I told you to say. Anyway, for this week
excited.
we actually have two top dicks this week, which is pretty crazy. We almost never two piss fast top dicks, and we don't usually prepare anything, so this is exciting. And there might even be more topics as the podcast progresses. We'll see if we come up with anything. Yeah, it's a surprise.
What?
I'm excited.
Oh, sorry, top dicks.
Don't you just love the top dicks?
I really do. I was laughing at that for like a solid 5 minutes today when we were playing Rocket League with Kaden. Like, still,
It's so funny.
still laughing.
It's so funny. Hey, did you say ball semester? Jonah, you want to... So, Jonah, you know what? Let's start with this. Before I get into the story about DeAndre being a dumbass. Jonah and my humor has really devolved at an exponential rate over the last year. And it's gotten so bad that just saying these nuts or balls is still actually kind of funny. But the thing is, it's getting more funny
right now.
the less... Yeah, it's getting more funny the less creative it is. So the other day, Jonah and I were on the phone, and I was talking to him about my registration for...
No. Let me take over. This guy goes on a rant, like just a rant, just like as he normally does, just talking about his college stuff for like infinite amount of time.
Okay, it was like 2 minutes. Let's relax.
Anyway, and so he's talking about his like, you know, his classes he's signing up for, and I'm like, yo, so when is this? And he's like, this is for the fall semester. And I'm like, did you just say ball semester?
And I have literally been laughing at that for 4 days. Every time I think about it, I'm like, I didn't say ball semester. And that's the problem, I think. The fact that I can find that funny for that long, even though it shouldn't have been funny the first time, is concerning to me, I think. And DeAndre and I are no better. I mean, what do you even, like, what? I can't remember a single joke you've ever made.
Me?
Now that I'm sitting here. Yeah. What's a joke you've ever told? Like,
well, that's
right
because none of them are good.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that
and
yet
I still laugh.
Well, I also have like a really...
I get boned, by the way. I just beat Deidre in darts.
Yeah, I wasn't really playing. But, like, I have such a short-term memory, I can't, like, remember anything. So it doesn't really... You can't be like, hey, tell me a joke, because I don't remember anything. Like, at all. I don't remember good jokes. I have dad jokes, but those are not good. I love them, because people don't like them.
Alright, tell us a dad joke, Deidre.
I'm not a dad yet. Oh shit, that sounds like a joke.
You know, that
no,
that kind of counts,
like
actually. You know what? I'm gonna run with that. That counts. What were you gonna say, Jonah?
Oh, I was gonna say, what's the first piss fast top dick?
Oh yeah, we were gonna tell you our story about Deidre being a dumbass.
Nah, you being a dumbass. I did it. I executed my plan flawlessly.
Yeah, I don't really understand the point of your plan, and I'll get to that. So yeah, you and I were on the phone, and it was like, for some reason, DeAndre feels the need to FaceTime me now. Every time I call him, he FaceTimes me, so I have to see him. It's weird.
Yeah, you call me, and I'm like, this is an inconvenience to me, so I FaceTime you to inconvenience you right back, and then you just have to deal with it.
Honestly, that's kind of, I kind of fuck with that now that you give me a reasoning. But we're on FaceTime, and you know, I'm like rewiring my stereo, so I'm not looking at the phone.
Yeah, he calls me to rewire his stereo. He didn't ask me any questions. He propped his phone up and then walked to the other side of the room.
I assumed you would try to make some conversation, you know, being like half of this friendship.
No, that was before. You were like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, hey, I'm editing. I need to like listen to my video so I can edit the video. And you're like, and then he propped up his phone and started talking to me. I was like,
so this is where I say, okay, you could have just hung up the phone. But what you decided to do instead was just sit like perfectly still for like 4 straight minutes And then, finally I like notice and I'm like, Deidre, can you hear me? Deidre, hello? And he's like not moving, so I hang up. And apparently that was his grand master plan, was to just like act like he lagged out
It
so that I'd get
worked.
off the phone. But like,
That's amazing.
you could have
He
just hung
committed to
up.
the bit for 4 minutes.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's so
Kaden,
stupid because
that's
like you could have
funny.
just hung up though.
I had the monkey emoji face on
Like,
too, so
yeah,
if I
that's
smiled a little
true,
bit,
though.
like you would notice it.
Oh, that's so great.
I blinked a
No,
couple
Yeah.
times.
that's amazing.
I'm surprised I didn't see that, but it's Kate.
I mean,
so
I wasn't really
not
looking at
surprised.
the phone.
It's like, what are you
That's
doing
the
over there, monkey?
craziest part. Is like, I wasn't even paying attention. I wouldn't have noticed if you hung up for 4 minutes. You could have just left.
No, because you would have heard the "Ba-da-doom," and you'd be like, "I hung up," and then you would have texted me. But I was able to like not get any texts from you, any calls from you, and as soon as you hung up the phone call, you called me on Discord.
See, there you go. I wanted to establish a better connection, so I figured I'd use the Wi-Fi, use the Discord, and you got another call. Yeah, you got another fucking call because of your stupid ass strategy. So suck my dick.
No, I think he was cooking.
Yeah, I could have just not picked up the phone too. Good. Think about that.
Okay, do that next time.
Put that in your
dumbass.
pipe and smoke it.
What?
Huh?
Yeah.
You've been hanging out with too many white folk, bro. What is that?
Oh, I got it. Me and Gavin were playing, and this guy like, he said it about our age. He actually said something like hella white though. It was like something goofy. Like actually, it was bad. I can't even recall what it was, and it was like less than an hour ago. I have such a bad memory. This is bad.
Dude, you're so annoying, bro. Do you know how funny that would be to talk about right now if you could remember it? And it was so funny, and you still like remember that it happened an hour ago,
Well,
but you have
the reason-
no clue what he said. What is wrong with you,
The reason
bro?
I can't remember what he said is because Gavin and I instantly jumped on it and started making fun of him. We're like, golly, oh my goodness, goofy goober, like just like destroying him. It was great. We played with him for like 4 matches.
Damn.
He was
Oh, yeah,
actually
okay,
fun.
that's pretty funny.
Yeah, but I absolutely have no idea what he said because we were just ragging on him so hard.
That's great.
That's happened a couple times, I think, for you and I, like to each other, but also with Jonah too. Like, I don't remember half of the shit that we say to each other just because it's like the reactions are the good part.
Dude, I love pissing off Kaden. It's my favorite thing.
It's so fun and
You
it's
love
so
pissing on
easy.
Kaden.
so funny. It's so easy.
Steer
It's
clear of
so
the piss,
easy.
Kaden. Goddamn.
No, it's been too long. It's been like 5 minutes into the pod, and I haven't talked about pissing on you guys yet. we got to get this going.
Side note, just literally just trying to derail the piss topic.
Well,
I don't
side
anything. Okay,
Nice.
nice. Yeah, that's
Thank you.
that's a good one. A good old wraparound. So, Jonah, you
Little
wanted to talk
wraparound.
about embarrassing stories. Did you have one in mind?
Oh yeah. I have one of mine. So
Alright.
before we hopped on, I was like, hey guys, I got a piss fast topic for you. And it was embarrassing stories because I kind of just like, this is my go-to story when I'm like when in like a crowd of people, and I'm like this is just what I go for. So freshman year, at the end of the year, we were going on this like class school trip. It was like,
Do I
So
know
for-
this story?
I mean, you might. We were friends back
I
then.
don't. So,
'cause-
could you be quiet?
Anyway,
Yeah.
so I'm on this trip, and it's like some of them are like missions trips, some of them are like just like fun trips, whatever. We went to. Do you guys know where Lake Powell is?
I think so.
Of course I know this story.
So anyway, big ass, lake in the middle of a desert, and
Yeah, a bit of foreshadowing.
Hey, you do know. That was great.
Thank you. Yeah, re-listen to that
good.
segment, Deidre. You're gonna think that's pretty funny. All right, go ahead. I won't interrupt again.
So we're on this boat. We rent this boat, right? And so we're like cruising around on this big lake. It's really cool. We also have like a tube that you attach to the boat, and so like we get on the tube, and like the leader's like just whipping the boat around. Like we're just trying to hold on. It's so fun, and we're all taking turns. And so it was me, my buddy Luke, and this guy named Christian, and like, we were all on the tube together. So I'm on the right, Luke is in the middle, and my boy Christian's on the far left. And on the boat is the leader who's like, driving the boat. And then
Let me try the boat.
all of the girls from the trip, like literally all of them, we split into 2 groups, and like literally all of the girls were on that boat. They were just watching us, taking videos, whatever. And so we're going along, and we hit like a lot of bumps, right? And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh shit! Like I look down, and my swimsuit is untied, and I was like, oh, that's not good. And so we go over another bump, and I'm like, oh shit! Like it's starting to like get loose, and I'm like, oh no. And so I'm like just praying, I'm just hoping, I'm like, maybe we're good. And then I see a big bump coming in. I'm like, oh shit. So we hit the bump, and my legs go like flailing up. Like I still hold on to the raft, but my legs go up just enough, and my pants come down just enough to completely moon the entire boat full of all the girls. They stare right at my ass, bro. like legs completely up. And so we come down from this. Luke and Christian, they have no idea. And I was like, guys, I gotta let go. And they're like, what? No. And I'm like, because if I don't let go, they're gonna come off, and they're gonna just fly away. Like it's gonna be game over. And so I turn to Luke, and I'm like, Luke, I gotta go. And he's like, no, no, no. And I'm like, and I'm taking you with me. And I grab him and I pull him to the right. But what happens is all the weight goes to the right, so we launch Christian into the air, and then we go spiraling onto the water. I grab my pants, I pull him up. It's okay. I'm like, hey, maybe they didn't see it. We get on the boat. They're all laughing. Senior year, 4 years later, they're still talking about it. This girl Annabelle,
Oh,
she still talks about how she saw my bare ass on that trip.
Oh
Wow.
no.
Yeah, it was rough.
That's an embarrassing one for sure.
Yeah, that was rough.
I don't know
Yes,
if I have
thank you for
anything to
sharing this
rival that.
with all 12 of the people who are gonna know about this.
And it's my go-to story. It's like when I got something fun to share, go for that one.
That is a really good story, honestly. I feel like most of my embarrassing stories are just so
Just you being a dumbass.
ferociously cringe that it's like I can't even tell them in public
Dude,
because
seriously.
everyone's just like, oh,
Well, also
like, you
yours
did
aren't
that shit?
interesting.
What the fuck?
Yours aren't even interesting. They're just cringy.
Yeah, they're not even interesting. They're just horrible.
It's just you being a.
It's really bad.
I got one actually for Kaden.
Has he told
you,
the-
buddy. No,
Has
I
he
don't know if
told
are
the?
we doing it like this? You can't tell a fucking story on my behalf.
All right.
I'll tell it, but like you gotta
Lydia?
tell me which one it is. Wait, which? Oh, wait, which one?
What do you mean? Which one?
He has a lot.
I mean,
One
Are you
which
talking
five
about
one?
seven.
the shopping cart one, or is
157.
that
Yeah,
something
but
else?
like, do you want me to just tell that whole story, or
Yeah.
do you have a specific moment
Yeah.
in mind?
I want to know the story behind 157.
All right. So there's a number that I include in just about all of my tags, my gamer tags or whatever, and in my email and all that, and it's 157. And this all started in 8th grade, first semester.
Seventh, dog.
Nope. No, she was
Oh,
not there
you're
in
right.
7th grade.
You're right.
Yeah,
Right.
shut up, dumbass.
Damn.
So sorry, that might have been a bit harsh.
Continue.
The fuck is wrong with you, Jonah? Anyway, so yeah, first semester 8th grade, I have like a science class first thing in the morning. It's how would you describe the school that we were going to at the time, Jonah? It was like an options thing.
Man, it was
where
so. It
it
was a
was
cringy
PRA.
thing. It was like we were
Half
all
homeschool,
homeschool kids.
half in person.
It was for kids who wanted to be homeschooled and not be alone, and so you went to school 2 days a week, but then you were homeschooled. It was weird.
It was weird, and the curriculum was like defined by the school, but it was also homeschool, you know. So it was very strange, but 2 days a week. So I only have a couple of classes a week, quite frankly. I mean, what do we have, like 4 a day, 2 days a week? So and in 2 of my 4 classes, I noticed her on the first day. I had them with this girl, Lydia. And
You're really just out here saying her name.
yeah, I don't know her last name, and I don't really give a fuck at this point. But
If you do, let me know. I'll tag her in the comments.
you should do that. No, I never found her Instagram, but God damn it, did I look in 8th grade, bro? Holy shit. I was trying to find that shit.
He was desperate.
I I was searching every method. I was trying every way to spell that name. Like I think I looked for the school directory at one point and I couldn't find it,
Damn.
so I could like get her last name too. Yeah, I was
Damn.
thirsty, bro. But shut up, Deidre. But
I
anyway,
have not said anything because I
He
was
hasn't
no
said
different.
anything, bro.
I was no different.
oh, I know that. But anyway, so you know, thirsty ass me, but also this was a very, very unique semester in my life because this was the peak of this was the genuine peak of my cringe behaviors. And the reason for that is that I had already been like socially weird in 7th grade, but I had also found a group for the first time that like actually kind of liked me. You know, I had Jonah, I had Logan, a couple other people who thought I was hot shit. Yeah, and man, how am I forgetting his name? Joe Zimmer.
Zimmer. Yeah, that guy's cool.
Yeah, he's chill. So you know, I had some people who actually liked me, and I thought for some reason that just meant everyone must like me. This must be generally applicable. So I would just like in classes, you know the way that you act when like you're in a class with your boys and you're like sitting in the back and you're making stupid ass jokes to each other and you're fucking laughing about it because it's so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I would just like say that shit out loud to the whole class. Because I was like, oh well, you know, we're all friends here. Like we're all in on this. And they weren't. Nobody laughed. But I behaved in this way for the entire semester, and for whatever reason, I liked this girl the whole semester. Didn't talk to her a single fucking time.
She should have known.
And then on the last day of the semester,
yeah, this is what I was gonna tell.
all right, the time has come. You know, like this is my chance.
What?
Because I knew that I was going to be transferring to Powell with Deidre actually after that semester. So this was my last day ever at the school. You know, I had my 8th grade brain was like, okay, I've got a way out. Like if I get embarrassed, like I don't have to think about this anymore because I'll be out. And that didn't fucking work because here I am, fucking 6 years later, talking about this stuff. But anyway, I don't understand how I didn't recognize at any level the way that people perceive me outside of my own friend group. But I remember I see her, you know, she's like leaned up against a wall and it's like, oh, this is like the movie scene, right? Like, here we go. So, you know, I kind of like nudge my boys. I'm like, here we go, guys. Like, I'm going to go fucking talk to her. And, you know, I go up.
I remember this.
And I just kind of lean next to her and I go, hey. And bro, I don't think I have ever been depth stared that hard in my, you know, like the fucking just the hardest deadpan I have ever.
Hardest deadpan.
I mean, her
ever,
face, and the worst part was her face was kind of normal when I was walking up, and it looked like her all of the muscles fell out of her face or something, because her whole face just fucking dropped.
You haven't even asked her out yet. All you
said
was hello with your spooky ass voice.
And
Bro,
she just fucking
you hit her with the
dead-eyed
fucking
me like that. She didn't even say anything back, and I left.
Bro, you hit her with the Miles Morales. Like you hit her with the Miles Morales.
I didn't even do that because like I didn't put my hand on her shoulder and I didn't say it in like a good inflection. I was probably like, hey. Or something like that. I don't know. I mean, it was 8th grade, but I probably could have like said something else, but I genuinely you know, people say if looks could kill pretty frequently. I actually thought I might die.
Yeah, it's like worst she can say is no. She didn't say anything.
So I just kind of
didn't say anything.
So I just kind of like stopped talking and just kind of like stared at her, looking scared as fuck. And then she just walked off. And so, you know, I turn around and all of my boys are like losing their fucking minds. And that might have been the most embarrassing moment of my life, just because I'm
left.
Because and that was it. That was my send off for that school. That was, you know, after that I walked out of the door and they never saw me again except Jonah and Logan.
Yikes.
It was really bad. I still think about this. You know, I still have the number in my tags because I created most of them when I was in middle school. You know, like I made my email address when I was in 8th grade and I didn't even explain that. So the guy Joe Zimmer that I mentioned, he and I like both had crushes in the grade, and we both wanted to have like a way to talk about it for some reason. And like fucking middle schoolers, we were like, oh, let's make a code. So we had a code, like a numerical code for the girls that we liked, and Lydia was number 157. So if I was talking to Joe, and I was like, "Yo, like 157, and I like, this is happening or something," and it wasn't, but if I said that, he would know that I was talking about her. And I think we had a bunch of other shit in the code. I mean, I think 160 was me. I was doing fucking math equations. I was like 157 plus 160 equals like fucking I don't know. I think we had a code for dating
That's the
too or something. It
cringiest
was
shit I've
horrible.
ever heard.
It was horrible. It sucked. And I still remember this all these years later, and I still remember the exact numbers because I will never forget like going that hard and being that thirsty for 3 straight months and then getting fucking killed by that one look. Man, that changed my life, I swear to God.
Well, and also
But
the number kind of evolved after that point because then I made fun of him for so long, and his sister did too. Like we all knew this number, and so it would be like, "Ha, 157." But
Geneva
then,
did?
yeah, bro,
When did that? I don't remember
This
that.
is such
She was
great
the one-
information to have.
she was the one that first.
I mean,
told
I don't
you-
give a fuck anymore. What are you talking about?
Well, you clearly do. You just talked about this for like 10 minutes.
But like,
Yeah, I told the story.
I know, I
Dude,
just
you're
said-
like giving all these details and shit. Yeah, that's
I'll just say it.
that's why I'm good at telling
I'm just
stories and
saying.
you're not, bro.
Yeah, I
You're
know.
sitting out. You're like, yeah. So we were on the phone and then I froze and then I hung up.
Well, yeah, well,
Like,
no,
that's
because
how
the
you
reason
tell
I
stories. No,
the reason
you're
I
a
tell
fucking
short
dumbass.
stories is because I don't give a fuck about a lot of shit. So I'm
Okay,
like,
well
I
that's
get to
not
the point.
entertaining.
I listen to podcasts.
I don't know.
All day.
I know why you do it. It's not funny.
No, that I know it's not funny. I don't do it because it's funny. I do it because I can't remember shit. Like I listen to
Okay,
podcasts.
well, why
I
are you
listen
standing
to-
here to fucking talking about how I like tell long stories when you literally cannot?
I didn't say you told long stories. I said you care
You
about this
just
a
did.
lot.
You were like, no, I've been sitting here talking for like fucking 10 minutes. Oh my god.
Yeah, I said you care about this a lot because you've been talking
I
about
do
it for 10
not.
minutes.
I do not. I'm just telling the story.
so easy.
It
really is.
It really is.
Anyway.
I'm just
Shut
sitting,
up, Jonah.
I'm sitting here crisscross applesauce in my chair, just kicking my little toes, man. I'm having so much
What?
fun.
Send a picture.
My dick. Oh my god. No, we're having fun here. The reason I tell such short stories is because it's like, one, I can't remember things, obviously, like I've said, but I just like to get to the point and then move on. Because, like, I don't like attention being on me too much, and I'm working through that. But, like, I don't know, it's just weird for me. I like to, like,
Did you-
spectate and shit.
I think you're cute.
Oh, you think
I like
so?
when attention's on you.
I think your toes are cute. Welcome back to the
Yeah.
Uncomfortable Silence Podcast. Let's go. I could see Jonah's like little bubble was showing up, and I was like, oh, he's gonna crack. So I had to But anyway, Jonah, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say that the number 157 became like a legend after that, because like
I don't know about legend. That's
The
not
Legend
a word.
27.
yeah, because I'd make fun of Kaden so much with that number, but then the weirdest shit started happening. So like, we started like Kaden was watching a like football game, and like the timer stopped at 157 and his team lost, and then like I was playing Clash Royale.
It
and my
was
tower
weird how
got to
often we
157 and
encountered
then
that
I
number.
lost. Like every single time we encountered that number, something bad happened, and it was like, oh no. And so then that's why we like kept thinking about it. And then it like switched, and so we were just like we were always keeping track of this number, and then we just kept adding it to like our names or whatever. And then all this was so lit. So then there was one time, it was like not in the middle of COVID, it was like a bit later, to where like you could have like a group of people. Kate and I weren't a group, but we hung out with each other. And so it was like a bit later in COVID, we were hanging out, and we were like really bored. We couldn't do anything because like pandemic. And we're like, you know what? There's a highway in Colorado. It's called Highway 157, and we drove out there for no other reason than to just be on the road. This is 157, but we got there at 1:57, like in the afternoon. It was the dopest thing ever.
That's kind
It
of
was
sick.
weird. So actually, like in the months leading up to that little road trip that we took, we had talked about it. We had kind of said like, we figured out that the highway was there, and like we should go sometime. But we both decided it has to be like on a random day where like we're just feeling it, like we can't
Yeah.
plan it ahead. It has to be like we were just planning on hanging out, but we're both feeling the vibe. We're gonna go and go drive to Highway 157. And so yeah, I remember the day. I don't remember the date, but I remember the day, starting off, and you came over at like 11, I think. And we went immediate, or no, did you spend the night before? I think you did.
No, so here's
And
what we
then
did. So we went. Remember, we went to Lexi's house to see
I
if she was
do.
there to hang out with her.
Wasn't that the night of? I remember that being
I
late
don't
at
know.
night.
All I know is that we decided to do it randomly, and we're going out there. We're like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be
This is actually
157.
it.
At
Yeah, it was
157.
like 1:45, and the GPS says we're like 12 minutes out, and we're like, oh my god,
I started hauling ass. I took like a toll lane and everything. Like I was hauling ass, and we made it.
We did. We you know what? I'm not gonna tell that part.
Why?
It never mind. But
For
I
real.
remember that we decided to like do the road trip. We're going to Mickey D's, which we do a lot, and it was this specific McDonald's that was over by his old house.
Let's go.
Here's the address.
I miss it.
And we were just kind of like eating our burgers, and he like is pulling out of McDonald's, and he's about to turn, and I'm like, you know what? Go this way. And we're kind of thinking about it. I'm like, is this the day? And you get really excited. You're like, wait a minute, like I'm kind of feeling it too. Like this could be it. And so we both start getting hype, and we're like, oh my god, we're fucking doing it. We're going to Highway 157.
For
And
no other reason than it
and
being
for no other
157.
reason than just because that was the number. And then after that is when we were like, we hung out in Boulder for just a little while. We stopped by my grandparents' house, and then we drove all the way back. It was like an hour each way. And
All the way.
I think we just spent like the entire rest of the day in the car. Like we went on like a road trip of important spots in our lives. Was that the same day or was that a different day? I feel like that was the same day. We drove past the middle school that we talked about, and we drove past a friend of ours' house. We did like just a whole nostalgic road tour.
The guy who's stuck permanently.
Yes. Oh shit. Should we
No.
Okay.
We'll save it for a different day. We'll save
Okay, that one needs to be savored, I think. God damn it, that was funny though. But yeah, we were just doing a nostalgia tour, and it was great. It was a lot of fun, and it all started because of this one chick in middle school that I liked and that I couldn't talk to, so I gave her a fucking code name.
I remember in like middle school, the girls had like a bunch of nicknames for people, but nobody knew what they were.
I wouldn't know. I didn't talk to them.
No, exactly. Well, I kind of did. For whatever reason, you probably won't believe me. I get along well with like women when I talk to them. Like in high school, my friend group was just a bunch of women. In middle school, I just made like friends with women. I think other guys just like intimidated me, or I was like, I don't want to like let these people down. That's why I'm so mean to you. Is because I'm like, I don't give a fuck if I fucking let you down. So I'm like, but back in middle school, like they had nicknames. Like one was like Grass, and that was some kid. I never knew who it was.
Bad. No,
like they'd be like, oh, Grass is so cute today, or like Stripes is like this or that. I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like I was terrified of having my own nickname because I knew they were having like nicknames for like attractive guys, and they probably had some with very unattractive people, and I was definitely gonna be one of those.
Aw, Deidre.
Yeah, I know. I was so sad. It was very sad. Not a great way to look at it. What the fuck? Don't send shit in Discord, weirdo.
What's he doing?
I don't know, but when he does it, I have it on screen capture, so whenever he sends something, it says one new thing.
Oh, it doesn't say what it was?
Yeah, it has like a blue line at the bottom saying one new message.
Do you see it, Jonah?
No, that's good. That's actually pretty good. Well,
Can
no,
you
because I
put
know
that
how
on the
to
podcast
respect people.
somehow?
Yeah, you gotta put that on the pod, bro. I need that. I need that to be there.
I can try. What's up?
All right, sorry. I'm sorry. Continue your story, please.
No, that was pretty much the whole story.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
and
you gotta have something better than that.
Did you
though.
get
I
a
mean, come
nickname?
on.
Did they ever
Yeah,
give you
no,
a
we're
I
going.
could never
we're
figure out.
going for
No,
embarrassing
yeah,
stories.
yeah.
Bro. You got something better than that.
The one I always go back to is I was like, I will never be affected by rejection. I don't know if I've told you this one, but it was in, I think like end of elementary school before I had to like move again because I moved a bunch, so I didn't like. I made some friends, but I knew it wasn't like gonna last for a long time. So I went up to like every single girl at recess after like I had like a book of like all these names, and I went up to like every single one of those people on that list, and I like asked them out, and I was pretty sure they were gonna say no, just because I was like running around the playground asking all of them in the same recess time. So I had a set time period of like 30 minutes to get to all of these girls, and I asked all
Oh my
of them,
god.
and they all said no, and I was like, boom,
Ooh.
I have hit my fucking rejection like threshold, like nothing can hurt me. And then there was this one girl. I think I have told you this, Kaden. We played in Rocket League one time.
Yeah.
And this
I've
one
heard this
girl,
story.
Grace, like she liked me back, and I didn't ask her because I didn't like her. And she like at the end she's like, aren't you gonna ask me? You want to be my girlfriend, boyfriend, or whatever? And I was like, I think I like ran away probably, but I didn't. That was yeah, it was pretty bad.
Man.
Yeah, it was bad. So that's what short stories can be as impactful as long stories, depending on
Yeah,
what
no,
happens.
that one was concise. Just boom, cringe, boom, cringe, boom, cringe. You didn't need any details, bro. That was impressive. Holy shit. I've heard that story before and it hit just as hard as the first time.
Oh, what about the other one with the baseball one where I was with Logan? I'll start it from the beginning. So we go to this baseball game, right? It's a school thing. We're just there with our friends, no parents around, but we go to like the little snack station, me and my sister Logan, and we go get some snacks. And I have a reputation at this school.
You want to see my foot long?
No, not even that. It was just like, you'll
I
figure it
told
out
you this
the
story,
more
Jonah.
I tell you this. But I walk by these two girls, and they look over me, they look over at my sister, and they just like, they look at each other, they look back at me, and they just keep walking. And as they walk past, I can hear them say, "It's him," and they just keep going. It wasn't like a positive, like, "Oh my god, that's the guy." It was like,
It's him.
"It's him." Like,
I'm
keep
him.
walking. You need to keep going. It's him. And I was like, yeah, they're talking about me. Because Logan didn't even go to that
man.
school. He was just visiting.
Oh no.
That's like my biggest fear right there, bro.
Dude,
I hate
fuck.
people looking at me like in class. Like I get like warm when I feel eyeballs on me. Like
Dude,
it's
I hate
so bad. It's so
Dude.
bad.
Last summer, I was out on the lake. I was kayaking. I was just like vibing, and there's these like middle school looking ass kids, and they're not even looking at me, but they're like looking in my direction. They're laughing, and they could be laughing about their own thing, but I was just sitting there, just like panicking, full ass adult 20-year-old on the lake, just panicking, like, oh my gosh, they're making fun of me. Like it's the worst thing
Right?
ever.
Like you're on a jet ski super far out like in the lake and you're like, oh, they're looking at me. I'm going to fall off and they're going to make fun of me.
Yeah.
But they don't know you. They don't care. You're in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Nobody knows
For
you
real.
there.
Yeah.
I
No one
hate
gives
that.
a fuck.
Like when you do
But, like,
presentations in class.
You know,
You know,
something.
my
You know, what's
kayak,
something
but,
that's
like-
comforting is with all of like the little stories that you remember, like a time that you made a joke and nobody laughed or whatever. You are the only person on earth who remembers that. Nobody else who was in that
Yeah.
remembers that, unless it's
Yeah.
me and Lydia, or like the girls with Jonah's ass or something. But that's what makes it a good story, is that it was so bad that people actually remember it, and then it can kind of escape to this threshold of like, well, it's just a good story.
And then
But
there's
all of the little shit where it's like, oh yeah, oh god, you know, how cringe was that? Like, no one remembers that shit, bro.
and then
Nobody
there's times where like,
except you.
your friends will hold it against you. Like they'll say something like, oh, you know, I'll go put this cart in the other lobby or something like that. And you'll just be like, oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean, actually.
Yeah. You want to tell that one?
Didn't I already tell that one in a video?
Yeah, like an old one. Nobody watches the old ones. So you
So
should,
you
you
want me to
should
tell
tell
it
it again.
again?
You should tell it again.
All right, I'll tell
These
it
have
again.
been
But
getting
real
more
quick,
views.
I want to take a quick intermission to thank the sponsor of Deidre's mental health, Kathy. I want to give a quick shout out to Kathy because I actually have seen like pronounced progress in Deidre's mental state. And I just think she's responsible for that. I think she's a great person, so I just wanted to give Kathy a shout out.
Hey, yo, shout out to
Um,
Kathy. Yo, Deidre,
I have
I
nothing
was
to
so
say.
scared. I went to meet you, bro. He was telling me the most vulgar stories. I'm like, who is this guy? And so I'm sitting there. He's like, hey, you wanna try playing Rocket League with Deidre? I'm like, no, this guy's scary. And then Kaden's like, no. He's chilled out. He has a girlfriend now. I'm like, all right. And then we play, and I'm like, oh, this guy's pretty cool. Yeah, he's chill.
Oh no,
So
see,
yeah.
you're
there
still
has
in
been
the-
an actual change, and I feel like it is important to have somebody who you can genuinely vent to.
I think
Um,
you've recently exited the curtain phase where I'm not who I actually am. Like when we played Rocket League the first few times, I held back a lot. Like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
how I
wanted to
meet
try.
people.
Oh, I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew you were holding back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because
But
what
the
Kaden
fact that
said.
you would hold back is contradictory to what I told him about.
That
you.
yeah, that's true. That's true. But that's how I get my in. I was like, Kaden, you look really nice today. Like one day at King Supers. And
Yeah,
now-
you complimented my shoes one time.
yeah, I was
and
like, your outfit,
yeah,
your
I
whole
guess we're
outfit,
going.
it looks amazing. Like the white sweater, the blue dunks, like these look nice. He's like, yeah, I'm going on a date tonight. I was like, yeah, sick. And then I was like, hey, come and close
That
with
was,
me one night.
Oh my god.
I was like, come,
You tied this together so well because that's the
Damn.
story I was about to tell.
yeah. I was like, hey, you know what?
Wow.
Come close with me tonight. And then I drank a Red Bull at like 8 o'clock, and he was like,
Oh
I'm
my
never
god. No way,
fucking.
that was the same day.
No, I don't think it was the same day. But
Dude, I
you were
was
like,
gonna
never.
say there's no fucking way.
You're like,
But
I'm
yeah,
never
I mean,
spending another night with you.
Yeah, that was how you got your in, and then I will never forget the first time I closed with you. I'm gonna tell that story before I tell the Claudia story.
Yeah.
I will never forget the first time I closed with you because I only ever worked like the morning shift. Yeah, not the morning shift, but like 9 to 5, right? Normal 9 to 5 hours. And then Deidre usually worked the closing shift. So what was that, like 12 to 7, 12 to 8?
Yeah, 12:30, like
to
noon.
8:30 usually.
Yeah, like
or
noon
something.
to
Yeah.
like 8:30. Not like
Okay.
that time.
So we had a lot of overlap in our shifts and we got to talk a lot, but we didn't usually like leave at the same time or show up at the same time. And we didn't usually do like the opening tasks or the closing tasks together. But one night we were really short staffed. You know, I had already gone home. I was chilling. But Deidre texts me and he's like, yo man, like we're short. Like, can you come in and close with me? And I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Why not?
No, fun fact, I lied, and he came in and he
Yes,
saw.
I'm getting to that.
Yeah.
I arrive at
Fucking
King
laugh.
Supers. I arrive at King Supers. Notice my very careful avoidance of the word "come" nowadays. But
What?
I don't say. I said arrive.
You arrived?
I'm arriving.
I arrived at King Supers and I walked in and I clocked in and I go into the pickup area. And as I'm going, I pass the manager and he's like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, "Oh, you know, like Deidre wanted me to come in." And he goes, "Why?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He said that we're busy. And he's like, all right, you know, fuck it. And I'm like, that was weird. So I walk over and it's like a really short walk. But I walk into the room, and this motherfucker, there isn't a single order that is left to go out. Like, the room is empty except for this dumbass who's just standing at the counter.
For like an hour.
And,
We're perfectly
like,
fine.
Yeah, and it was like, what, 6:30 or something?
Yeah,
so we
7,
still had,
yeah.
like, two hours until closing time. And, you know, I'm already there, so it's like, okay, like, I guess I'll clean a bit and, you know, get some bread. But, like, I spent the next 2 hours of my life. And I should also mention that Deidre was drinking a Red Bull as I walked in.
And a
It
half
was
gallon of chocolate milk. Don't
6:30
forget that.
PM.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, I always drink a half gallon of chocolate milk every single day because I was bulking.
Yeah,
it was
I
cheap
remember
there.
that.
It was so
I
good.
thought
Wait.
you're black.
Wait, no.
Was that
You
before?
you were not drinking chocolate milk yet.
Oh, I wasn't.
Because we started working out together, remember?
Oh yeah, I didn't enter my
So-
chocolate milk era yet.
Yeah, I didn't know you well enough to invite you to workouts. I cannot believe I did after this. I mean, literally, like, Jonah, imagine me in middle school.
Mm.
Yeah, I drank a Red
And
Bull right
then-
before the
And then
floodgates had
imagine
opened.
if I had imagine if I had like been me in middle school and I like dry scooped pre-workout. And that is the way that this fool proceeded to behave for the next 2 hours. And I like,
Yo, why are you friends with him?
I don't know. I mean, he
that
was like
great, but,
all
like,
the way in my face, making the stupidest fucking jokes. And I was so tired because I had already worked my shift that day. So like, I'm just trying to go home. But like, you know, the manager like saw that I was there and he was like, "Oh, I have work for you to do if you're here." So he was fucking giving me tasks to do, and this guy's just like following me around, like antagonizing me and being hyper as shit. And finally, I get away, and he's like in the walkie-talkies that we carry, like saying shit to me. And literally for 2 hours, this goes on. And like by the end, I'm like, I actually might kill myself because I need an out.
You know what?
Like,
Good for you, Deidre. I'm
Right?
glad because here's the thing.
what?
Kaden, if you did that shit
Bro,
to me
he
all
made
the
me
time,
suicidal.
you did that shit to me, like I'd just be sitting minding my business, and then you like get up all in my like just my area and be like, bro, watch this meme, and then like you'd like touch your leg to my leg because you're so close to showing this meme, and then you start like bouncing your leg like crazy because you have ADHD, and I'm like, whoa.
Jonah, you
So-
don't understand how not comparable these two things are.
I'm just
Me
saying,
being
you're
minorly
always-
annoying pretty
you're just, like,
regularly
always off
is
in my area.
nothing. It
You're
is
always-
dick and balls compared to what he did to me that night. I mean,
You
I
deserved
went,
it.
dude, I went home and I went to bed at 9:30 at night. I just straight up went to bed because it's like this day is over. There's nothing left for me here.
Did we play?
I gotta go
Did
to
we play
fucking sleep.
Fortnite?
No, we didn't. That wasn't until another night because I remember getting home and just being like, I'm fucking done being alive for today. I'm gonna go pass out. I think I took a shot of NyQuil or something, so I would just get knocked out for like 8 hours.
That was
I just
so fun.
I didn't want to think about it, and I don't even. I mean, I think there was like a week after that where I was kind of like only degrading you for that, and I was trying to talk to Mikey more. But then, you know, you kind of like wormed your way back in somehow. I don't
That's
know
because
what-
I like the
don't know what
degradation. That's why.
wizardry. Yeah, I don't know what wizardry you pulled to become friends with me again, but somehow it happened, and
I was
here we
like,
are.
hey, you like basketball? I'm black. Let's be friends.
Little did I know he's not good at basketball.
Except for the hook shot. You love that shit.
I hate that shit. For some reason, I don't know what possesses you, but whenever you shoot a hook shot from like beyond 3 point, I can be like draped all over you defensively. You shouldn't even be able to
What?
get this shot off. Like I'm literally like leaning on you, and you just like huck it, and it's cash every time. It's fucking crazy. I've never seen anything like it. It's so stupid and it's so lucky.
It's in my
Oh
jeans.
my god.
What can I say?
It pisses me off so
Dude,
much.
you said
bro.
so much basketball terms. I have no idea what the hell you just said.
So imagine you take your arm and you just like trebuchet it backwards, like behind you, and then it would just go. The ball would go into the net. But you have to call it
And
a
like
hook
meanwhile,
shot.
while he's trying to do this, I'm like wrapping my arms like around him kind of and like leaning on him and doing everything I can to disrupt him from doing this shot. And he still somehow makes it. I mean, it's impossible how good he was at that. Like there are players who like have actually grinded a basketball and are like in the NBA that I don't think would have hit that shot in those circumstances. I mean, they would have cooked me in other ways, but like they wouldn't have done that.
Built different, bro. What can I say?
That is.
I feel
certainly
like
true.
I feel like God sent me Deidre
What?
to like help annoy you.
I needed to be humbled before you and I could be friends again.
Yeah. God sent me Deidre to humble you and to just find little ways to mess with you. It's so great.
It's so fun. And then he's like, "Hey, let's go to
Yeah.
the mall." I gotta send you these videos, Jonah. Oh my god, he was so tired, and I had just taken like
You,
Red Bull.
you took videos of that night?
No, yeah, remember? Because I was like, "Oh, we're going
I
this way.
don't.
We're going." You had to pee so bad, and I was like, "Let's go get some water, and let's go to this store." And then I was just
Well,
naming
let's go
stores.
see the water feature.
Yeah, let's just stand here real quick for like 5 minutes. And you're like,
Let's
no.
stand here and look at this fountain for a little while. And I'm like, bro, I gotta fucking pee.
I was like, I know.
No,
That's why
okay,
we're
actually,
doing
no,
this.
it was more like, bro, I have to pee. I'm leaving because it had like I was already that tired. Like 20 minutes
Yeah,
into
you were
hanging out.
so tired.
Dude, no, I wasn't even tired like going into the hangout. I was pretty tired. I think I had skied that day, so I wasn't like
Oh yeah, I think you
in
did.
prime physical condition. But you know, I'm like, I want to go get like a Philly cheesesteak or something. Like I want to go to the mall. I figured I might as well get this dumbass involved. So I called him, and he agreed to meet me at the mall. And we ate, and we walked around for 20 minutes, and then I left because I couldn't take any more.
I remember every like 2 minutes, you're like, why did I agree to this? Why did I call you? Why did it was so
I mean,
fun.
you genuinely had me questioning myself.
You're like,
Like I was actually sitting here and it's like, do I have like Stockholm syndrome or something? Where like I'm just psychologically enslaved to my fucking or like I've like fallen in love with my captor essentially. Like, what is this? Why do I hang out with you?
It's my light skin charm, bro. My light skin charm.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. Bro thinks he's Jordan Poole. Honey, see you looking at me.
Okay, so we do need to wrap it up a little bit. I mean, we can go longer, but it's already at 45 minutes, just so you guys know.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. The only other thing I wanted to touch on was I've listened to Joe Rogan's 2 specials and Theo Vaughn's. I just listened to Theo Vaughn's today.
Oh my gosh,
Dude, what'd you think about Theo Vaughn?
I knew this would fucking happen. I fucking love him. He's so fucking weird. I
he's
love
so
him.
So funny. Everything that I hear out of Theo Vaughn is like
an original.
if you gave me like 15 minutes, like if you asked me a question and you gave me 15 minutes to think of the most random answer, I could not possibly come up with something as weird as what Theo
Yeah,
Vaughn
that's
says.
because he doesn't use 15 minutes. He uses 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's
So
the
funny.
crazy part, though.
He was telling
Is
a
that-
bit. He was telling a bit in his special, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm going shit in the fishbowl." I shouldn't have said that. Like, what the fuck is?
What does that mean?
He's like, I'm sorry, guys. That might have been too far. But then he put it into like his next thing. He's like, "Yeah, sometimes
so
you're just driving in Satan," and it's like what? He's great. I love Theo Vaughn
Dude,
and all his
he's like the
podcast
best part
stuff.
of my TikTok feed right now, bro. My TikTok is full of him, and every time I'm happy.
He's so great. He's been on my reels right now, and I'm like, I'm not even mad. I'm gonna watch the
What?
whole thing. Yeah.
So you get last month's
Last month's what?
Theo
Nice.
Vaughn clips. Yeah,
I guess,
yeah.
yes.
Jonah and I control with that one.
Yeah, but those are great. I gotta watch a couple more comedy specials, but I'm already on episode like 160 something of the Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer podcast, and there's like 180 of them. So that's what I'm saying. I've listened to like so much stuff, so many episodes of podcasts, and I don't remember a lot of the stuff. I just like hearing a good story. I don't retain any of the information, but it's fun.
Perfect. This podcast was just full of stories.
I
You're
know, I
welcome,
love
guys.
it.
Yeah,
It
I
was
don't think we
great.
had a conversation one time.
But it was great. This might be like either the best or the second best podcast we've had. Like the last one was really good.
I feel like the last one was better.
The
I
last
don't
one was
know.
really
I
good,
love
but these
this
have
one,
really
but
good stories. I do like the
These,
stories.
yeah,
in
this one has
Great
better
stories.
stories, but I feel like last one was just
As a podcast,
Such a
maybe
vibe.
last one was better. But this one's really funny. I like this one.
Just fun.
Yeah.
Just fun.
All right, guys. I'll plug your socials, and then any last remarks
Plug
you want to
your-
say?
bite.
More like
Any other ones?
last balls.
Okay, I got an idea.
More like. Wait, what socials? More like so come.
What?
Why don't we just harmonize the
there's a
word
C in it.
balls, and that'll be how it ends.
All right, no, let's do it like acapella style. So like we each come in at a different time, and
We
then we
each
all like say it
what?
together. So it's like ball, and then you guys have to join in ball.
He cuts out. He says ball.
You guys have to join in ball.
Ball. It just cuts out. The mics don't work like that. They don't work like that. Okay, guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you did make it this far, if you did,
Holy shit!
I don't know.
Thank
This is a
God
pretty good
that
one,
no
so I feel like they
one-
might, but I don't know.
I hope they made it to the Kathy segment. That was my best.
Oh
That was
my
my
That was
best
so
god!
part.
funny.
I forgot about that part. That it's all staying in. I don't think I have to edit anything out of this. Even the part where
That's
you're
great.
talking about like not wanting to alive yourself. So
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
it's fine. It's fine. But yeah. All right. See you guys. Thanks.